wanted to win the game, but to come through in that kind of situation in that venue and make that kind of play, what did that feel like?
I mean, it was a dream come true. I mean, I always wanted to make big plays in big games, and I knew we needed a play on defense to help spark our offense to get something going so we get back in the game. And it was just a perfect situation, and the quarterback threw the ball right to me, and smooth sailing from there.
Were you thinking end zone as soon as you caught it?
Yeah, as soon as I turned around and looked, I saw the end zone, and I saw edge row lining up to block the quarterback, and I was like, please don't do anything stupid so I can score.
Questions for Shannon?
Kind of the same question I asked Coach, just about a game like this and how important it is for the overall program to kind of get a good feeling going forward as you head into conference season, a good feeling amongst the fan base. Just, how important is this game to be competitive and maybe have a chance to win it?
I mean, it's very important to get better every week. Going against a great opponent like Utah and Ole Miss, it helps our team build. When you put us through adversity against great teams, knowing that we could get through tough times, So if we could come through and play together as a team as we played against Ole Miss, I think it's going to spring us forward so we can be a great team during conference.
Shannon, in looking at the tape and the video of the game on Saturday, and I'm sure you guys have pored over it numerous times, what did you see as areas where the entire team can improve moving forward?
Just staying disciplined. I mean, there was a few times where they beat us because we weren't disciplined in our techniques and not trusting what we were supposed to do.
You said after the game that you were disappointed in the outcome, but not in the effort that the team put forth. Why did you feel so strongly about that?
Because, I mean, when we turned on the tape this morning, we didn't see anyone from play 1 to play 77 or how many they had. We all fought all the way through the game. And, I mean, you can't be disappointed in your teammates when they fight like that.
How encouraging is it for you knowing that the team did not give up despite the score?
Very, very, very encouraging. I mean, if we could fight through a game like that, we could fight through anything.
You're a guy who's from the Central Valley, you're from Bakersfield. Is the reason why you came to Fresno State to play in big games like this, the one you just played, the one against Utah coming up?
Of course. I mean, growing up, watching the game that sticks in my head is the 05 USC game. I remember watching it with my dad thinking Fresno State can win this game. And without big plays by the Heisman winner, they would have won. So, I mean, big games like this is the reason why I came to Fresno State.
Shannon, Coach Drew said that the receiving core that you guys just faced might have been one of the best that he'd ever seen in person. Being one of the guys that had to cover those guys running around, what do you think?
I agree. I totally agree. I mean, we sat back and talked about it in the locker room, thinking they probably had 4 or 5 guys that are NFL guys that were going to play on the next level and contribute on the next level. I mean, all of them were big and physical guys, but I feel like some of the plays that they got were because of us. I mean, if we would have stayed true to our techniques, they wouldn't have hit us for as many yards as they did.
Do you take that experience playing against guys like that moving forward to tell yourself that you'll be able to take anything else that comes your way after something like that?
Yeah, playing against a receiving corps like that, I mean, it builds confidence. Knowing on the plays that we did shut them down, it was like, man, I could actually play with top-tier guys.
Last year in that Utah game, you saw both Travis Wilson and Kendall Thompson. Travis's left shoulder is hurt, not his throwing shoulder. He's probably going to play against you guys, but you'll probably see Kendall too. Is it tough preparing for 2 different guys and remembering when you're in the game that those instincts have to be a little different?
Yeah, it's always tough when you have 2 great quarterbacks. I mean, Kendall's a great runner, so is Travis. But when Kendall comes in games, it's a whole different vibe, knowing that he could get out the pocket and it's dangerous, so dangerous in the open field. So, I mean, you have to stay true to what you're taught and stay disciplined when you know that they have 2 great quarterbacks that could potentially both play.
And what sticks in your mind about that game in Salt Lake City last year?
Just losing. I don't want to have that feeling getting on the bus or coming in the locker room again, having that feeling of getting really blown out in the game.
What did you learn from that game when watching the tape?
If you stay disciplined what you do, you can win every game. I mean, last year we had Utah, we had so many mental lapses and so many miscommunications that we could have prevented if we would have stayed disciplined. I mean, I remember getting a grade sheet, and I remember nobody grading out over 70% in that game. I mean, that's a disappointment in our secondary.
you referenced watching the USC game back in '05. It's been a while since Fresno State has kind of lived up to that reputation as being a giant killer. What would it mean, to win a game like this over a ranked opponent at home?
I mean, it'll be big. It mean everything to our program and our fans. We actually come out and play how we're supposed to play. I mean, I feel like if we play how we're supposed to play, we're going to be right in this game on Saturday.
What does the black do for you as a player? Does it give you a different mentality when you head out there?
Yeah, it gives you just an extra surge. I mean, we don't lose in the black. I mean, that's our speech every time we wear the black. We don't lose in the black. So I mean, it gives us an extra confidence boost, and you feel better playing when you know that you're not supposed to lose, and the fans expect you to win in certain uniforms.
Overall, I know you were pleased with the effort, but was it a little disappointing too with the amount of big plays that were given up at Ole Miss?
Yeah, it was very disappointing. I mean, we worked very, very hard on taking out the big plays, and during camp, I could count on my hand how many big plays it was. So it was disappointing giving up all those big plays in the secondary, because that's our main goal, is to eliminate them. I mean, we're going to come back this week and practice even harder on preventing those big plays.
Last season when you guys went to play Utah, it was kind of a similar situation. You're coming off the USC game, which was a tough loss. The only real difference here is that you can play this one at home. How much of an advantage or how much different does that make this game for you?
Playing at home is always an advantage. I mean, we don't lose in Bulldog Stadium at all. And having the fans there and having extra momentum and extra drive to play the game is always big.
Shannon, coach was saying he didn't see the faraway look in anyone's eyes. Did you feel like this loss at Ole Miss was any different than the 3 losses to start last season?
It was a lot different on the sideline, because knowing coming off Ole Miss, a lot of their touchdowns came off stuff that we could have prevented. And we had to feel that we're always in the game until end of the third quarter. So coming off the sideline, we had the feeling that we're going to get back in this game and make it competitive.
What was that trip back like for you guys? What kind of discussion was there, or was there discussion, just silence?
I really didn't talk. I mean, I got on the bus and went to sleep, and then went straight to sleep on the plane. So, I mean, we were just trying to transition into getting ready for this game. I mean, what we did on Saturday is over, it's the past, and now we're ready for Utah.
Any other questions for Shannon?
What do you remember about Devontae Booker?
I really don't remember him at all from last year. I mean, I know he had carries, but I really don't remember having to tackle him or having to fit on the run or anything against him.
What about reviewing film or just seeing some of his highlights? Do you
Yeah.
compare running backs to each other?
I see a lot of Martez, and Martez is probably the hardest back I ever had to tackle. So knowing Devontae's a physical runner and led the nation in yards after contact last year or whatever. So I know he's a great back, probably first team all Pac-12. So we know it's going to be a tough challenge tackling him.
And I know there was a time when you thought you were going to be playing in the Pac-12. So for you personally, playing for a Mountain West school against a Pac-12 opponent, you feel even more like you're trying to prove something?
I mean, we always try to prove ourselves when we're going against Pac-12 opponents, because we're all here for a reason, because they didn't want us necessarily. So we're trying to prove to them that they made a mistake by not recruiting us.
Any final questions for Shannon? All right, thank you, Shannon.